Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back to another stream today. Hello, hello. Come on in, come on in. Get comfortable, grab a drink, whatever you need to do to feel comfy. Let's just chill back, chillax, lean back, relax. That's what I want us to do. We're playing Narcissu 1 today. We're still in the first game. We're on chapter 5. I'll go into that in a minute, but first let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Princess Evillan, and I'm a streamer here on Twitch, and I post almost everything that I do here on the channel. It all ends up on youtube.com/@princessevillanvods. Evillan is how you spell Evelyn, in case you didn't know. But yeah, I have a bunch of games on the VODs channel, so if you're looking for more content by me, go ahead and check that out. And if you're watching on the VODs channel in the future, hi, come join us on the Twitch channel, twitch.tv/princessevillan. Evillan is how you spell Evelyn, in case you didn't know. But yeah, I love getting to chat with you guys and see what's going on. Sometimes I get too engrossed in a game. I play such interesting games. Like, they all have their own little story and like things to say, and I don't want to miss a single thing of it. So I sometimes get a little too engrossed and I miss your messages. So I'm sorry about that. But if you do show up and you chat in the chat, it shows up on the VODs channel. So if you want to come be part of the party and part of the experience that I'm trying to create, then come do that. I stream every Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Every week, and then uploads to the VODs channel come out every Saturday. I try to do 3 at a time, a full week worth of videos on one day for the VODs channel, just to get uploaded. Sometimes it takes me 2 days, but most of the time it's just Saturday. And I think we're going to be playing something tomorrow too, so stay tuned for what we'll play tomorrow. I'm kind of in the middle of something interesting on Expedition 33, so we might be playing that tomorrow. So join us for a secret Saturday stream, a surprise Saturday stream. It's gonna be fun. Yeah. But anyways, back to the game that we're playing today, Narcissu, which is a really kind of tragic visual novel. It's about 2 people in the terminal illness ward of a hospital, and they both have illnesses that will eventually kill them. That's what being terminally ill means. But the girl has like these distinct dreams to see places beyond the hospital and her home and to die somewhere that is neither of those places. And we kind of have this like dream of, it feels like we're trying to rationalize everything that's happening to us and making a reason out of it. We don't really have a game plan as far as our character. We've been driving for the last 3 days. We haven't really gone anywhere. We did try to go to a pachinko parlor and steal some money, but that didn't work too well because, again, we are terminally ill, and it's something that our character has to realize over and over and over again. They can't do certain things because they are not who they were 6 months ago. Things like that. So there's a little bit of dissociativeness with it as well. And I think it's important to tell these kinds of stories, especially when they're set out as beautifully as this one, to remember that there are people who are terminally ill and they do choose to deal with it in different ways. And there's no really like one best way to deal with the fact that you're terminally ill. Yeah, I don't know. It's been an interesting game. So let's jump into it. I'm really excited. I was having issues with it loading earlier. Yeah, it doesn't like to load on my screen. Oh, hold on. Turn that off. Why is it working now? Oh. That's what I wanted. Okay. Now down to the annoying part. This thing. Why do you choose to not play? It's been giving me grief all day. Technical difficulties, everyone. I'm hoping that if... There we go. Now it's working. Perfect. Maybe I just had to move around. Anyways, we're on chapter 5. We're traveling down Route 1. I don't know where that is. I think we're in Japan somewhere. I don't know Japanese highways or anything like that. The girl would know. The girl that we're with, Setsumi. She studied maps and cars and survival tips and things that will help her when she does make this travel, which she's been planning to do, it seems like, but she just hasn't gotten the courage to do so because she just handed us a bunch of money. So I liked looking at maps. Yeah, we said that. Oh my god, and this game has the best music. Next to Expedition 33, they're so beautiful. The timing of it is impeccable. Such beautiful music. The Route 1 that continued forever, the unknown places, the cars that would take me everywhere. I love them. But no matter how much knowledge I had accumulated, it was imagination. Reality, my heart, both steadily grew fragile. I had a swimsuit, I had maps, but I had no future. I even had a world outside the window, but I had no reality I could touch. Yeah, like, so if you weren't here for last week when we started this, we met her in the terminal illness ward. She's staring at TVs, she's staring at windows, like, she's not existing in reality, in her reality. She wants to escape to something else. And I imagine there's lots of people who even aren't terminally ill feel that way, feel very stuck. If I closed my eyes, I could go to a world of nothingness, but it wasn't as if this world itself had disappeared. I knew that. My lifelong companion was resigned to the world of closed eyes. And yet, always imagining what if, hoping for a maybe, gazing at a dream. But in the end, yearning never went beyond longing, both the bikini swimsuit and the Emerald Sea. The large scar on my chest advised me to give up. Okay, so this is the girl. They drew her looking so young. Maybe it's her eyes. Her eyes are massive. It's a cute style though. It's very much fits because this is an older game. I think this game came out in 2016 or something like that. Hold on. I can check. I can fact check that real quick. When did this come out? Yeah, 2016. It's an older game, so different art styles were being done for visual novels at the time, and people were doing different things to stand out. I remember big eyes really being a big thing for a while, so makes sense. Being unable to choose anything but the 7th floor home was pitiful. Without being given room to choose, but even saying that, unable to even find that place, I felt myself to be pathetic. Even though I had lived 22 years. Just once, let me do as I please. When I murmured that, the time that should have stopped felt like it swayed. On that day, the heart that should have stopped hurt. Suka. Route 1, January 26th. So we've been going for like 4 days now. The cleared blue sky of winter reflected on the hood as the silver coupe ran. As always, it ran without a destination, but for the moment, neither gasoline nor shopping seemed to be a problem. Soon we were about to enter a large intersection. Last night I hadn't gotten the girls' approval, but I just generally headed west anyway. It was just that I had absolutely no idea about geography, and the cost of using the expressways seemed painful. While thinking about that, a large intersection came up ahead. Without thinking about it, I was going to drive straight through it.
そこ、左折。
There, left. Yeah?
左に曲がって。
Turn left. Suddenly, the girl gave me directions. While wondering what was happening, I followed her instructions and made a left turn, coming out onto a large road. Just what was that?
これが1号線。
This is Route 1. For a while, go straight. For a while? Her sudden directions left me surprised. Up until now, she had come along, and while she seemed to know everything, this was the first time that she spontaneously gave me directions. Oh. Is it that you've started wanting to go? To that place, Awajishima.
悪い。
Problem? No, that's not what I meant. We had driven without any destination. I, who had been wandering around wanting a goal, and the mysterious girl always looking far away. What came from that girl's mouth was unexpected.
期待してるわけじゃない。
It's not that I'm expecting anything. Eh?
別に水着が欲しい。
It's not like I want a swimsuit. What are you saying? Oh my god, she's so tsundere. It's nothing. She wants to swim. Route 22, Nagoya. Under the clear winter sky reflecting the sunlight, the silver coupe ran on. It passed through Hakone with its steep inclines and sudden curves, and now the roads turned much gentler. Hey, this place is around where?
愛知県よ。
Aichi Prefecture, and soon we'll be entering the city of
名古屋市内に
Nagoya.
入るわ。
Thinking of our money, we drove on the lower roads without using the expressways. Myself alone, it would have been absolutely impossible, but following the girl's directions, we went on. The girl, who was more knowledgeable than a navigation system, pointed out the way. I didn't know the reason why, but I felt that it was probably the right route.
次の交差点。22号線に入って。
At the next intersection, enter Route 22. Got it. Changing lanes as told, I turned the wheel. In the scenery flowing by the window, we first saw a busy city stretch far to the north. Then, while all unnoticed, the scenery around us slowly turned to more calm things. Hey, you want to go there? By the side of the national road, some family restaurant chain. As I drove, I pointed to it and continued speaking. Look, up until now, we've only been eating convenience store food, right? Of course, we hadn't been eating only convenience store food because I liked it. Or we liked it. We had to consider our money. It didn't have that sort of room for choosing. But now we had just a little bit of room financially. That was why I made the suggestion. Well, once in a while a restaurant's good too, right?
私はコンビニでいい。
I'm fine with the convenience store. While saying that just a bit, the girl looked down. It seemed like she was looking at her clothes. Ah, that's right. She's been wearing those floppy clothes all this time. Got it. Then want to go there first?
あっちって。
There? Look, the store just up front. It's some kind of jeans shop. It was one of those places often seen along the national roads that looked like some kind of wholesale outlet dealing in jeans and casual wear. I'm sure a store like that would have things that don't cost very much. It would be nice to get a pair of clothes that actually fit you. Well, we're going in, okay? There was no reply. There was also no resistance. Could it be that if she didn't object, I could think of it as an agreement? We entered the store. On the two large floors, the girls curiously went around many of the sections. I take a drink. Oh my goodness. Alright. She was silent as usual. It might have looked unchanged from her usual appearance. But somehow, it was slightly different from the time she was lifelessly staring at whatever came on boring television. Oh, damn it. Hold on a second, I got a cough. Okay, goodness. It's so pretty. Let's see. Over and over she would pick something up, look at the price tag, then fall into thought. And while trying things on, she would come up to me. How is it? How is it? It suits you.
変じゃない。
It's not strange? Ah, probably. Over and over like that, she would change clothes and come back to show me. She would never smile or show any emotion, but I sensed somewhere that she was enjoying herself. How about it? Decided? I'll take this. While saying that, she showed me the last set she changed into, a cute shirt and a short skirt. Those clothes were just exactly like a middle school or high school student's, but she happily wore them. I'm sure she had said that she was older than me. But however you looked at it, when put together with a figure that really didn't look older, it suited her so well, it was charming. But that skirt, isn't it better if you gave up on it? Eh? Ah, no, it's not that it doesn't suit you or anything. Look, it's cold, isn't it? It's just not an outfit for this season.
別に平気よ。私、
Oh
我
my
慢するから。
goodness, honey. It's not particularly a problem. I'll endure it. When she answered, I could see just the slightest bit of red on her pale face, even though normally she would absolutely never show any emotion. Could she be embarrassed? It was the first time I saw her show that emotion. We continued driving on. So this is something that I talked about last time, is that they don't really know each other. They've built up this relationship of both being terminally ill and like wanting something more than what their life is capable of giving them. They both have this longing, right, of different things. And in that, you two have built this apathetic relationship with each other where she doesn't have to show emotions and you kind of have to just guess at what's going on. And, like, I like that we're getting her to open up to us a little bit more. We see these moments where she's a little bit more emotional. Like her wanting to wear the skirt. I think that's very sweet. She probably never got to wear her outfit for her, because she talked about the swimsuit that she bought for school, and she talks about things that probably a couple of years ago she would have had and would have been normal, but now they're just all brand new because they've never been used because she's been sick for that long. This is a beautiful game. If you have a chance to go watch this on the VODs channel, go back and watch this on the VODs channel. I can't wait for this to go up. It's probably one of my favorite series. Under the high, high winter sky, the silver coupe with a slightly noisy exhaust continued going.
次で21号線に入って。
Next, go on to Route 21. Got it. As usual, we went on following the girl's navigation. Before we knew it, we were in Gifu Prefecture. Normally, except when needed, the girl would always be gazing out the window. But now, again and again, she would happily look at her reflection in the side mirror. Aww, that's cute. As if she were trying to avoid my noticing, she peered into the mirror.
何？
What? Nothing. The clothes from before, it looks like you like them.
別にそんなことないわよ。
Not particularly. It's not that. Saying that she stopped looking at the side mirror. But after a while, when I was looking away, she once again started checking the mirror. In the end, it seemed like she's also got a cute side. Aww. Yeah, they don't really know anything about each other. That's the point that I was trying to make earlier. They don't know anything about each other. They've built up this intimate trauma bond between the two of them. But they don't really know anything about each other. And they're just finding out for the first time some things. And that's a really unique way of doing it. Let's see. Yeah, we thought she was cute. That's nice. When the sun had completely set, by some roadside somewhere, we had once again finished our meal of convenience store food. Say, I wonder what's become of things right now. Even now, wrapped around my wrist, the white vinyl bracelet. On it, my blood type and name was recorded. As I looked at the hospital's nameplate, I murmured, "You think there's been a big uproar?"
多分ね。
Probably. Yeah. Parents, friends, as well as the hospital doctors. When I thought that even if only on the surface they were worried about me, it pained my heart a little. Sorry, Dad, everyone. Yeah, we stole our dad's car. Going off and doing something selfish. I mean, it's very selfish, but at the same time, I can't fault you. I personally can't fault him for wanting to run away and do something different. I can't fault him at all. Say you. Something the matter?
最初に
The first time you heard you were going to die, did you cry? At her sudden question for a moment, I was taken aback. Then I thought about the weight of the question for a time. I think I didn't cry.
じゃあどうして自分だけって
Then, did you say, why only me and curse fate? That I don't really remember. In the beginning, I wasn't able to realize what was happening in reality. I think it was because I couldn't conceive of it as being real. However, honestly, there might have been a bit of that. The friend I went to the training center with bought a new car, complained about how much trouble the 36 loan payments were. There were those who got jobs, those who got left back in school, those who had kids, those who were dumped by their girlfriends again. But I was denied a future. That was why, to be honest, I think there had been a feeling of why only me. Even when I told myself that this was fate, still, I think there was the feeling of not wanting to give up. Yeah. Then what about you?
私
Me? Yeah, did you cry out of sadness or curse fate?
私は平気だった
I was fine with it. Why?
だって最初から何も望んでなかったから
Because from the start, I didn't wish for anything.
私は諦めていたから
Because I had given up. I see. If you gave up from the start, there'd be no disappointment. If you turned our back, there wouldn't be any happy endings, but also no painful things. But I had a feeling that that way of thinking was far too sad. Or perhaps in the girl's case, maybe there was nothing else that could be done.
前に見た映画で言ってた
A movie that I saw before said
狼は3年しか生きないって
that wolves only live 3 years. What? Wolves? Suddenly she started talking about something I didn't really get.
でもロバは9年も生きるんだって
But it said that donkeys live 9 years. What's this? Wolves are 3 years and donkeys are 9?
ロバは役に立つから長生きする
Donkeys are useful, so they live long.
そういうことらしいの
That's how it is, it seems. The girl looked lonely as she gazed out the window, her words tumbling out. This was probably for this girl, the excuse to convince herself, the excuse so that she could give up. Yeah, because if other things in nature don't last as long, what's the point of her lasting longer? But that's a really sad way of looking at it. But not totally an unnatural one. Under the evening winter sky, we continued straight along Route 21. Dancing in that darkening sky, lightly floating specks of white, it seemed that, depending on circumstances, it might snow harder.
どうかした？
Something wrong? Yeah, it's snowing. Then I noticed that the sides of the road had become white with fallen snow. I didn't know when we'd come to a snowy area, but everywhere I looked was seamed white. This might be trouble. From what I'd seen before, these tires weren't studless winter tires. If further ahead there was an even snowier area, it might be troublesome. Hey, is this place a snowy area? Eh? Well, if the snow gets any worse, it might be difficult, you see. Even if the road surface wasn't covered in snow, in such a place, it wasn't surprising if the road froze over. And thinking about it, I hadn't learned anything outside of the instruction center's textbook. We might even need to have chains put on. How about it? Do you know?
この先は関ヶ原。
Up ahead is Sekigahara. I heard that the last time. What I want to know is whether this place gets heavy snow.
わからない。
I don't know. She probably never thought about actually getting there herself. For some reason, she answered with a lonely expression. Yeah. Looking at her, I felt that something was a bit off. Even though she knew that much about the roads and also knew so much about this car. Compared to that, this seemed like something she would definitely know. Alright, at any rate, I'll drive carefully. The shoreline. We got out of the car and gazed at the lake. Blown by the strong wind, here and there, white snow even stained the frozen lake surface. And in that, facing what seemed like the edge of the ocean, the girl slowly started walking. It was a scene that occurred once before.
ね、どう思う？
Say, what do you think? I think you're probably very cold, honey. That if you continue into the sea like this, would you die comfortably thing? Probably not, it'd be very cold.
海より
I have a feeling you'll be more comfortable than the sea. I don't see the basis for that answer.
だって
Well, seawater is salty, so your body would float, right? Well, that's impressive reasoning. In the cold north wind and the falling snow, the two of us exchanged words where you couldn't tell whether we were serious or joking. And then the feet that had briefly paused once again started to move towards the lake.
やっぱり止めないの？
I guess you aren't going to stop me? Well, today you don't plan on dying, right? That may be true. That place, Awajishima. Just how much further would that be, I wonder? It's not as if I wanted to go there or that I had some sort of obsession with it. However, even though we had been wandering around with no purpose, now we found ourselves a place to aim for. Even if without me stopping her, the girl's feet remained one step before the water's edge. I was sure that was how it was. Route 8 to Route 1.
1号に戻って。
From there, go back to Route 1. Got it. From Route 8 back to Route 1. Following her navigation, this time we were headed towards Kusatsu.
ねえ、今ってお金は大丈夫？
Say, right now, is our money fine? We still have about 30,000 yen. We previously bought clothes, but besides that, we continued on our usual convenience store fare. Is something the matter?
じゃあ高速に乗る？
Then you want to go on the expressway? Expressway? We can't go all the way using the smaller roads? Oh, we can't go all the way using the smaller roads?
確かに
Certainly, up until very
ギリギリま
close
で
you
なら行
can.
けるけど、でも最終
But
的
in the
には
end, you have to take a
必ず
toll
有料
road,
道路になる。
so... I see. Well, it is Awaji Island after all. I didn't know the details, but in order to get to Awajishima, one had to cross the Seto Ohashi Bridge or some such bridge.
じゃあ草津からバイパスに入って。
Then, from Kusatsu, go on to the bypass. Alright. Following her direction, we went from Seta Interchange and connected to the Meishin Expressway. Compared to the regular roads we had been running on until now, it was obviously better maintained. There were no traffic lights, and with the good visibility of the road, even for a first-time expressway driver like myself, I felt it was easy to drive on. It was just that if I were in high school, or if I were, not in high school, if I were in the high-speed lane on the right, the cars that came up from behind at a ferocious pace was scary. Yeah, the real speedsters. In the beginning, I didn't know what passing was, or what the right blinkers meant, but then I got used to it. I thought driving on the expressways was fun. Amazing, that car. Passing us at an astounding speed, some car from somewhere. We were driving leisurely and couldn't help but look at each other. And also, the girl who sat in the passenger seat looked slightly different from usual. Normally, she'd be looking out the window with distant eyes, but today, surprisingly, she was curiously looking around at the cars. Speaking of which, for some reason, she knew a lot about cars. I pointed at the car from before that ferociously passed us. So, what car was that just now? Come now, think of it like a quiz.
Toyota Celica.
Toyota Celica overview. And the one that passed us now?
Shitoroe Kusara.
Nasara. Oh, you really know your stuff. To be honest, I didn't know whether she was right or not. However, the girl who'd rarely open her mouth on her own seemed to be enjoying herself as she answered again and again. That was why, without pausing, I continued to speak.
青いのがユーノス。赤いのはアルファロメオ。
The blue one is a Unos, the red one an Alfa Romeo? She even answered for two cars that passed us at the same time. But you don't know that one, right? As I spoke this time, I pointed to something different from a normal car, a truck. I wanted to see that slightly troubled face from the girl who would show so little emotion. I was teasing her. So yeah, I guess you don't know trucks, huh?
Nissan Atlas.
Nissan Atlas 10. Hey, you're amazing. Even though I was trying to give her a hard time, I hadn't thought she would even know trucks. She'd know even trucks. If you know this much, isn't it on a level where you can be proud of it?
So.
Really? Yeah, I think you can stand tall about him. Aww. The girl returned silence at my words. She just seemed a little bit embarrassed. I'm sure she really likes cars. Well then, when we get over there, you want to try driving? Eh?
でも私。
But I don't have a license. It'll be fine. I'm sure driving on the beach or something will be fun. Most likely, if we go to Awajishima, there would be plenty of deserted places. Plus, this car has a manual transmission, so once you got used to it, I think it would be interesting. Well, in that case, I'll teach you. Driving a manual. Though I'm just a new driver myself. That's it for chapter 5. Let's jump into chapter 6. It's getting good. I like that he's trying to teach her, like making an experience and give her things that because I don't think she said she never had a driver's license, which means that she never went through the process of even trying to get it, which means she's probably been ill for a very long time. I wonder what's going to happen when we hit the end. Are they going to make it to Awajishima? When that high sun was just misting over, the silver coupe continued to run along the expressway. Soon we'd be at the Katsuragawa parking area. Moving closer, we drove in what could be called a slow resting pace. Say, you want to take a break next? What's wrong?
ちょっと疲れたみたい。
Looks like I'm a bit tired. I see. It wasn't too surprising. Just before, she'd been so excited, and originally we were even more sick than ordinary sick people, so it was probably natural. Well, I'll go buy you something. Alright, I'll go quickly buy something. Slam. Rushing over to a nearby shop, I bought things that weren't much different from what I would buy at a convenience store. Here, a Pocari and rice ball, that and also fries. Those are the words she replied with, but she just took them and didn't move to eat. Even though normally she would have started eating the fries first. You alright? Could it be that you're starting to feel bad?
薬が切れただけだから。
My medicine has run out is all. I see. Her medicine ran out. That was something I had feared. Well, no, it was something that could easily be imagined from the moment we left the hospital. Of course, I hadn't forgotten about it on purpose. Up until now, I hadn't even thought about it. More than that, I hadn't even had the sense to think about it. Since when? When did your medication run out?
昨日の夜
Last night. Then it's almost been an entire day. In my case, I'd been told by the doctors that 2 days without taking any was my limit. Most likely it was similar in her case. Now that I thought about it, since the day that we'd left the hospital, 8 days had already passed. Yeah, they'd been gone for over a week. With the amount of medicine that we carried on hand, it was obvious that sooner or later it would wind up like this. Right now, what should I do? Hey.
私7階は嫌よ
I don't like the 7th floor. Yeah, I know. And you don't want home either, right? Once again, the silver coupe ran on. In the end, I got off the expressway at the next exit. It wasn't like that would fix anything, but I wouldn't be able to do anything while on it. From the bleak expressway exit, I continued driving towards an urban area. Then I searched, not for a small-town doctor, but a large hospital. More precisely, I was looking for the pharmacists near large hospitals. To be honest, going to a hospital may have been the best thing. If it were a normal sickness, I would have done so without any hesitation. However, we were residents of the 7th floor. The vinyl identification bracelets wrapped around our wrists were white. And also, we were people who had fled from the 7th floor. While thinking about that, I peered around while gripping the wheel. I was sure that a pharmacy near a large hospital should have most things. Found one. What's your plan? Standing on the corner facing a large street was some large university hospital. Right near it were the signs of 2 or 3 pharmacies. Just when I decided I wouldn't be able to find parking, I found an open space and quickly stopped the car. Hey, let me borrow your medication bag. With a mystified expression, the girl handed the bag with medicine over. I took that bag of hospital-use medicine and took out only the paper explaining the medicine. With this, it should be fine. Well, I'll be back soon. He is going out of his way to do things for her. And I don't really know what his reasoning for why he is doing all of this. Like, it doesn't seem like he's doing it for himself. It seems like he's doing it for her. And I don't know if that's the case. Again, I don't know if we have a plan. What's going to happen when we get to whatever it's called. The flower place. What's going to happen? Leaving her alone in the car, I ran the short distance to the pharmacy. Swoosh. Passing through the rather slow automatic door, I came into the store. I headed straight for the counter. Welcome! The person who called out to me was a middle-aged man. Wearing white clothes, he really fit the image of a pharmacist. I need this medicine, please. Eh? Ah, yes, please wait a moment. With that, the man took the medicine exclamation paper I handed over and went into the back. Most likely, instead of dispensing normal medicine, this place dispensed medicine from hospitals. When I went to an outpatient hospital before, I remembered going into a place like this just to get medicine. Obviously, it was still right next to the hospital, so I thought that most medicines would probably be gathered here. Sorry for the wait, it comes out to this much. Eventually, the man returned. In his hand were clear bags with capsules of medicine. He was carrying 2 bundles of them. With that much, it was probably alright for a while. At a glance, there's probably 1 week's worth. And then, as I was taking out my wallet... before that, may I have your prescription? Prescription? I'm talking about the prescription for the medicine. These are not for clinical use, you see. You received one from your doctor, right? I hadn't expected this. Well, no, thinking about it calmly, these weren't over-the-counter items. You can normally buy these. Is something the matter? No, I faltered and the man in white began to lay increasingly suspicious eyes on me. Wait, huh? Then noticing the white bracelet wrapped around my wrist and the words were written on it. My name, blood type, and he was trying to read the name of the hospital. Grab. The medicine left on the glass counter. Reflexively, I grabbed the whole pile. Hey, wait! The man behind the counter gave a great shout. I heard that voice behind me, but I was already running. It was only 5 meters from the shop exit. Unable to gain steady footing, I was stumbling, but even then I ran on in a daze. And then, coming to a rather slow automatic door as I was making to leave the store, it was then... Clang crash. Ow, damn it! Suddenly, for a moment, my awareness turned white. I slammed my head into the edge of the automatic door with enough force it seemed to have cracked. While shaking my wobbly head, I reached out with my hand and opened the automatic door that had stopped partially open. Then, when I got out of the store, I began running. I hadn't let go of the bags of medicine I'd been holding. Goodness. Unable to help myself, I was out of breath, and I wound up raising my chin up. It was only a few 10 meters to the car, but it felt awfully long. It didn't seem like anyone was chasing after me, but I didn't even have the luxury of looking back to check. If I were caught, what would happen to her? Alone in the car, she'd probably sit there forever, waiting for my return. As I thought about that for some reason, I ran in earnest. While staggering, out of breath, and thinking that this was my full strength, in spite of myself, I felt it was sad. Slam. As if collapsing, I fell into the seat, panted heavily as I tore the car into the road. Clearly, more so than the other day at the pachinko parlor, I became aware of how much my strength had dropped. And then, checking the rear mirror, it looked like I had really been cut by glass. A bit of blood was flowing from my forehead. If it was just this much, it'll likely stop soon. While driving, I lightly pressed some pocket tissues onto it.
大丈夫。
Are you alright? Yeah, I'm fine.
でも血が出てるし。
But you're bleeding. Don't worry about that, it's nothing. I waved my hand to the girl, directing a worried face towards me, telling her not to worry. And then I handed her the bundle of medicine still gripped to my left hand. Here, take your medicine. With this, I thought we'd be fine for the moment. At the least, it would probably hold out for a week. But when this runs out, what would happen? It was good that today had been a success by chance, but it was clear that my own strength was declining every day. Originally, we didn't have a goal or place to stop, or place to go. Because we had no desires, we had no fear of losing anything. But now, things were slightly different. With the birth of purpose, the fear of loss was also born. Suita Junction, Kobe Junction, the bridge. The day cleared up, and that clear, so very high sky that was characteristic of winter spread wide. Once again, we went on the expressway. Right now, we left the Suita Junction, and we're running along the Chugoku Expressway. Hey, what's the next one?
神戸ジャンクションから。
From the Kobe Junction. Got it, the Sanyo Expressway, right? Following the girl's direction, the silver coupe ran. Coming all the way here, the signs along the way were occasionally showing the words Awajishima. Since the day we escaped from the 7th floor, the trip odometer had already passed 900 kilometers. It seemed unthinkable that we had gone so far, but our destination was just a short distance away. Eventually, a large bridge appeared before us. This is the Akashi Kaikyo Bridge. It's an amazing bridge, isn't it? The two of us couldn't help but be impressed. It was as if it ran atop the sea forever. Then, after we drove for a while, right in the middle of the bridge, here and there, cars were stopped and people could be seen. Most likely those were tourists who got out of their cars to take commemorative photos. Imitating those people, I pulled the car to stop along the side of the road.
ここ。
Stopping is prohibited here. Well, if it's just for a bit, I'd probably be fine. Besides, from what we've seen, a number of other cars had stopped in the same way. Come now, let's go out for a bit and have a look. I'm sure it's got an amazing view.
わかった。
Alright. She still sounded a little reluctant, but she got out of the car to join me. Woo! A strong, cold wind whistled atop the bridge. It's colder than it seems, isn't it? Yeah, you're in that tiny skirt, girl. Aren't you freezing? Since we normally wouldn't come out of the car, we felt it all the more. In contrast to us, farther down, there were two people that seemed to be a couple. It looked like they were taking commemorative photos and raising their voices so happily that even we could hear. Looking around closer, other than these two, there were families and groups also taking pictures. A commemorative picture, eh? Certainly for a place like this, one was necessary. Speaking of which,
どうかした。
what's wrong? Yeah, wait a sec. I was certain there had been a camera. Yeah, there's a disposable camera. Can you imagine? your son passing away after being on like a week plus long adventure where he was lost to you and you didn't know where he was, and you get your car back and that's fine, and you see the disposable camera maybe like months later, maybe even a year later, and you're like, oh, I should get these developed. And when you do, you find pictures of your son and this girl on an adventure, just having fun. How would you feel about that? How would you feel getting those pictures back of your son? Pictures that you never took, but he took. That'd be so sweet. I'd probably cry. I would definitely cry. Yeah, there's a cheap disposable camera. At the time, from what little I saw, I thought there would be a few shots left. Pulling out the camera, I checked the film. Wonderful, there are still 2 shots left. Sorry for the wait. Look, I'll take one of you. Eh? A photo, since we're here after all. No. No, now, don't say that. Strike a pose or something for me. As I spoke, I readied the camera, pointing it at her. Come now, try making a bit of a happier face. However, maybe because she was embarrassed, even when she finally faced this way, she had on a sulking expression. Aww. Or perhaps, for her, this was her trying her best to make us smile. As I thought about that, I made ready to shoot the camera. Excuse me, could you take a picture of us? Huh? Ah, sure. That random couple came up to us with a camera in hand. Okay, ready? Yes, please. Happily, the 2 hugged shoulders, and the 2 of them smiled. I placed the 2 of them in the viewfinder, then hit the shutter. Click. Thank you very much. Well, in exchange, we'll take a picture of you 2. Huh? Oh no, I was gonna say, it'd be better if there was a picture of both of them. They should take a selfie. I just pressed here on the camera, right? Faster than my reply, he took my camera. Actually, it was more like he snatched it. Most likely he was being polite. Ignoring our hesitation, he quickly readied the camera. Come now, the 2 of you, get close together. With those words, I moved my body just a little bit closer to the girl. Still looking emotionless as always, the girl next to me also moved just a hint closer. Could you please pose a bit more? Nosily, the boyfriend started adding more requests. Looking closer, the girl's girlfriend was also giving us exasperated looks. Thinking there was no helping it, from behind her back to her shoulder, I slowly wrapped my arm around her. Setsumi. Ah. It was the first time I touched her body. The feeling of the childish clothes we bought the other day and waist-length hair spread from my hands. Looking at the camera, I couldn't see the girl's expression, but maybe she might be wearing that embarrassed pouting face that she would only show very rarely. Well then, ready. Click. Perhaps satisfied they'd taken a decent picture, the couple returned to their car. Americans. I'm gonna guess they were Americans, considering how pushy they were. We also turned towards our own car. A girlfriend, eh? Looks like we've been mistaken. Could it be that we look like it? I said it in just a bit of a joking way. For some reason it felt fun, and I just wound up continuing in that light tone. Well, no. Well, what do you think, Setsumi? No answer? What's with that? You're the kid here. Even with those words, the same as always, she was facing the window. Her expression was the same, and she didn't even move to look in my direction. But her eyes weren't the ones that always looked far away. I had a feeling that it was embarrassing, and so she was turning her face away. Aww. Looking up at the high side, that characteristically blue sky spread on and on. From then, we went on for just a bit and arrived at the Sumoto interchange. Once again, we exited and returned to the normal roads. We finally arrived, haven't we? Since the day we left the 7th floor, the car's trip odometer showed some 900 kilometers. From an unplanned start, we really did make it all the way here. Well, where should we go from here? South. South, got it. Following the girl's direction, I set off. Of course, coming here, even I knew what the place would be. I could see a number of signs for tourists in front of me. However, I followed her navigation. I had a feeling that it would be wrong if I didn't for some reason. I wanted to do it that way. Chapter 7, we're getting close to the end. I wonder if there's 2 more chapters, 7 and 8. Oh man, I'm playing for an hour already. It doesn't even feel like it. I want to play more. We'll play more. Okay, chapter 7, Narcissus. Narcissus? How do you pronounce that word? The flower. Slowly the setting sun dyed everything orange. A deserted beach, a strong cold wind swaying a pine grove. Driving the car out into that beach, I turned the driver's seat over to her. So, the clutch, can your feet reach it?
大丈夫。
It's fine. Okay, then next, shift the gear from neutral to second. I know. Alright, fine, then do what you want. Sure. The girl with the short build stretched her foot out as far as she could while gripping the wheel with a serious expression. Leaning out from the passenger seat, I spoke up. That's great. After that, slowly release the clutch. And then, looking obviously nervous. As expected, the grinding noise was phenomenal. Uh-oh. Look, you need to disengage the clutch more quietly. Her words said so, but of course it wasn't something one got skilled at right away. The girl tried her best, chewing on her lip a bit in concentration. Exactly because she would normally show no emotion, her figure seemed charming to me. Hey, I'm about to start feeling sick. I know.
待ってるわよ。
With the muffler still slightly broken, the silver coupe was noisy. On the deserted beach, it was as if a howling voice was reverberating. When the sunset slowly changed into a night sky and the faltering sea breeze completely changed to being a land breeze. At some point, the face of a large moon hung in the sky. For the most part, it looks like you've gotten used to it. Along with that reply, she'd been shifted into third. Totally used to the clutch now, she was driving around the narrow beach. With this, you could get a license without going to the training center now.
そうなの。
Really? Well, I don't have much credibility, but it's the words of someone who just got their license after all. By now, there was no meaning for us to get a license. Both of us knew that. We had maps, we had medicine, the muffler was a bit broken and loud, but we even had a silver coupe. But we had no time, had no future. It was exactly because we knew that I felt it was all the more trying. Well then, instead I'll give you mine. As I spoke, I took out my own license from my pocket. This was a return to the license that had lost its debut. To me, proof of the ordinary world that I should already have lost. Here, in place of your diploma.
もらっても。
Even if I take it, it doesn't look like I'd have time to use it. Well, don't hold back. I'm more or less the same way after all. The 7th floor that no one had ever escaped, high ceilings, windows that could only open 15 centimeters, white vinyl bracelets. Where the 3rd time was the last, the girl on her 2nd, I on my 1st. So here, congratulations on graduating. Thank you.
ありがとう。
With a small nod, the girl accepted my license. With that, she was also licensed. Not only coupes, but sedans, even convertibles. She should be able to drive anything that she liked. Purely, she should be able to go any place that she liked. After that, we drove a bit more. We arrived at our destination, the place where daffodils could be seen. All the flowers. It was supposed to be a tourist spot, but perhaps it was a bit away from the area, or perhaps it was the night. No one was in sight. Within the perfect darkness of night, we were waiting for the dawn in the dim car interior.
ねえ。明かりつけないの？
Say, you're not gonna turn on the light? Yeah, the battery seems about dead. That's right. Inside the car with even the engine off. Only the dim light from the dashboard faintly illuminated our profiles. In the tight space of the car where sound and light faded away, we exchanged very few words as we waited for sunrise. And the lump of laundry that had been tossed into the rear seat, the thick jeans, sweatshirts, and towels. We took a number of those and wrapped them around our bodies in place of blankets. Aren't you cold? Well, you can come a little closer, you know. Eh? Look, don't hold back. Come here. Speaking to the girl shivering from the cold in the passenger seat, I pointed to my lap. I'm sure that it'd be warmer here. I don't know about that, guy. I don't know about that. She's a little prudish for that.
別に
Not particularly. I'm fine.
私は
As the girl spoke, her body was shivering. Even inside the car, our breaths missed it. It was obvious she was putting on a brave face.
それともあなたが寒いから
Or is it that you're cold, so you want me to come? Well, that's fine too.
じゃ
Then, alright. Then, slowly, she came over to my side and hesitantly curled in my lap. See? It's a bit warmer, isn't it? The windshield was fogged totally white from the cold outside. With that white and dark outside, there was nothing that could be seen. Nothing could be seen outside. But soon the sun would rise. Surely at that time, a field of white flowers would spread out. The night was quickly fading, and the rising sun was turning the darkness from a faint purple to a pale white. Then, with the dawn, white flowers spread before our eyes. How pretty! Aww. In the place that had only been black up until now, white flowers appeared. The two of us couldn't help but get out of the car and gaze at the scene. Amazing. Spread before us countless daffodils. The morning dew caught the morning sun, further enhancing the bright whiteness of the prominent flowers. One could believe that it was a carpet that stretched to the sea. And in that we exchanged words, our breasts shining the same white. Since that day, the boring television showed the flowers, we had come to this place. Even though we had no goal, we managed to come all the way here. These flowers, I could think of them as being the same.
厳密に言っても同じ
Even strictly speaking, they're the same. I see, that's good. I didn't know the difference between varieties, but that day the television showed a scene of unbroken, uniform beauty. Compared to that, the flowers before our eyes differed in size as well as how much they bloomed. But without a doubt, they were here.
綺麗
Beautiful. Indeed. Vague, dull, ordinary, but always cold and merciless to everyone. Reality. In a world filled only with things that couldn't be seen. A world filled with things where even if you stretched out your hand, you couldn't touch. Right now, something that could definitely be touched was before our eyes. Some fragments of those unseen somethings were scattered about. Away for like 2 weeks now. Rain continued to fall from the solid white January sky. Since then, 2 days had passed. The whole time we were still in this place. We couldn't go. Uh-oh. Hey, are you alright? Probably. Her health had taken a turn for the worse. With her lying stretched out in the passenger seat, we barely moved the car and had remained stopped here. She was taking her medicine, but perhaps they weren't effective. Her bad state of health remained constant. However, we were people from the 7th floor. From her original condition, for a girl who was on her second time to wind up like this wasn't too surprising. Say, do you want to go back?
あなた帰りたいの
Do you want to go back? Yeah, just a little bit.
7階それとも家
7th floor or home? That's... I didn't know. What I did know was that sooner or later this would happen, and of course I myself was not too far from it. However, being able to only watch nearby, unable to do anything, was painful. February 2nd, uh-oh. But a little bit longer. The rain didn't seem like it wanted to stop, continuing to fall from the dark night sky. Beyond the windows of the parked car, the shining white daffodils would faintly sway. Say, these here. As I spoke, I pointed at the white flowers beyond the windshield. These were narcissus, weren't they? The daffodils? The word came from Narcissus.
ごきげんよ
Narcissus. Narcissus? That was a word that I remember hearing before. Up until now, I had thought that it had been a familiar word, but you mean the Narcissus, where narcissist came from? Originally it was a myth, so there were many
元々は神話だから
tellings.
いろんな説があるんだけどね。
And then the girl started to slowly explain as I wore an admiring expression on my face.
誰からも愛されるナルシス。
The one who was loved by everyone, Narcissus.
妖精のエコーもそんな彼が好きな一人だったの。
The nymph Echo was also one of those who loved him.
でもエコーは相手と同じ言葉しか話せない。
But Echo couldn't say anything but the same words spoken to her. Nothing but the same words?
そう。
Yes. And so, for Narcissus,
先に彼の口から
unless she got him to say I love you from his own mouth first,
エコーは
Echo could not
自
express
分
her
の
own
気持ちを
feelings.
伝えること。
In a lonely and sad voice, she continued to speak. I felt that her gaze, like before, was looking at someplace much further away.
でも
However, that was absolutely impossible.
どんなに夢
No
見
matter
て
how much she dreamed, yearned, Echo's wish could never be granted.
最後にはナルシスに呪いをかけてしまうの。
Finally, she wound up placing a curse upon Narcissus. That was the famous falling in love with his own image reflected in the pool. And then Narcissus, who continued to gaze at his
い
reflection,
つしか
eventually was transformed into a beautiful flower.
それがこの花。
And that was where this flower, the Narcissus, drew its
ごきげん
name.
よ
Narcissus? I don't know. When the story came to an end, she lightly took a breath. I'd been listening and also felt desolate. Echo, who bore a yearning for something that could never be reached, it felt as if it were just like now. And then, what happened to Echo?
いないわ。
She's nowhere. From the moment the curse was cast, she
呪いをかける
disappeared.
ときに
Disappeared? Then, wasn't there no meaning to it? To go so far as to place a curse but get nothing from it, in the end, it just made Narcissus unhappy
どう
also.
かした。
Is something wrong? No, but you're different, aren't you?
え
Eh? Well, before, didn't you ask me? Whether I cursed my own fate, which I couldn't do anything about? Because I'd given up.
私は諦めているから。時間の止まった私。
The me whose time had stopped. Numerous seasons, white overcast skies, passed without even the need to exchange words with
い
anyone.
つから私は一人なのだろうか。
When was it that I became alone?
目を閉じても世界は消えない。
Even if I closed my eyes, the world didn't disappear. Even if I stopped my ears, the sound of the rain wouldn't stop. I knew that. Neither the bikini swimsuit, the emerald sea, nor the happily smiling photo. I didn't really think I was envious. In the world of my closed eyes, even without maps or a car, I could go anywhere. Even if I wasn't being warned by the large scar on my chest, even if this reality were Narcissus and I were Echo,
決して憧れない。
I would never yearn, never curse. Even though I was supposed to have decided that. My heart right now swayed. The time that was supposed to have stopped tried to move. Even though it did so now, very soon it would end.
傷は
Wounds.
深ければ深い
The
ほど
deeper they are, it seems that they require a proportionate
それ
amount
に
of
比
time
例
to
して治
heal.
るのもそれならば
If
長い
so,
時間をかけてゆっくり離れてしまうと
if one had taken a long time, slowly letting go, is it too late to recover?
じゃあ
Then,
22年も生きた私はどうなるのだろう。
what would become of me, someone who had lived 22 years? Uh-oh. Her health's getting worse. Hey, you alright? Before dawn, stretching my hand out to the passenger seat, I stroked her back. Since then, another 2 days had passed. The medicine had been losing effectiveness had run out. But it was better than doing nothing. Thinking that, I reached for the car keys, planning on going to a pharmacy. Then, as I was about to switch on the
いいか
ignition,
ら
it's fine. In a weak voice, she stopped me. But at this rate, you're...
どうせ
Either way, they don't work anymore. That may be so, but certainly it was like she said, most likely with the same medicine there wouldn't be any effect. But even knowing that, it was painful for me to sit still, unable to do anything. Then, well, let's go somewhere else.
別の場所
Somewhere else? Yeah, somewhere other than this lonely place. Okay, let's decide on our next destination. Come on, anything will do. Be the navigator again. I was speaking in a bright tone of voice that even I thought was laughable. Facing that profile looking far away, I continued to speak cheerfully, alone. I knew that doing this was useless. At most, how 2 days before the end would turn to 3, even I knew it was on that level. Come on, say something. There's some place, isn't there?
別に
Not particularly. I know. Don't you like cars? You want to go on the expressway again? Oh, this is really sad. This is really sad. He's doing his best to try to make her last days like memorable, and she just wants to lay down and rest. Oh, no. This is so sad. Oh, these poor babies.
別に
Not particularly. Then, well, let's go buy some new clothes. You want them, don't you? Setsumi.
別に
Not particularly. Not particularly. You... Those final words, once again, the girl looked out the window. Not looking at the narcissus that spread before her, but like before, looking off somewhere far away. That pouting, embarrassed face she would make sometimes show. She wouldn't show it to me anymore. Why are you like that? Always with just not particularly. Just being a little bit forward facing. What's wrong with that? Before I knew it, I raised my voice. For some reason, I was sad. Even though I was supposed to be unable to have any real sense of reality, my heart ached. The interior of the car returned to silence. Outside of the window were the flowers of January, daffodils, narcissus. In the dark before dawn, their whiteness gently swayed. Farther than the flowers, much further, the girl continued gazing. Only the faint sound of waves held sway in this place.
前向きになって
Looking forward? How could I? Huh? Inside the dark car, suddenly she spoke up.
憧れて
To yearn, to be eager, to
懸命になって
strive. If someday you would be rewarded, then fine.
でも
But when it doesn't come true, what should I do?
その時に
At that time, say, oh, it wasn't possible, and laugh? I'm not that strong. The girl who had eyes that always looked far away was looking straight at me from the passenger seat.
私にできることは最初から諦めて
Oh.
何も望まずにいて
What I could do was give up from the start, to not wish for
やっぱり
anything.
無理だったと
To say, of course it wasn't possible. To look at myself with cold eyes. There was nothing else I could do. You're... Ugh. For the first time, the girl cried. Even though she almost never showed any emotion. Her small shoulders shook and her tears flowed.
あの時頑張っていたらもしかしたらって
At that time, if I had tried harder, what if... What were to me my final excuses? I could do nothing other than put them aside.
最初から
Because I knew from the start that it was impossible.
そう
Isn't that much allowed? It's a sad reality you built for yourself. But it's not like it's any better to have hope and like try to look forward if she's already given up. And if she gives up, then nothing can disappoint her. So because of her illness, when she inevitably has to stop doing the things that she loves, or stop doing and going to things and things like that, and having hope, she just decided to cut it all off so that there's no disappointment. I looked at the dark sky beyond the windshield. The sky before the dawn even showed the face of the moon. I could only hear the occasional sound of waves, the girl's sobbing voice. She might feel that she was the same as Echo, unable to return anything but the same words. From herself, she could say nothing, hope for nothing, see nothing, could do nothing but give up. So for this girl, refusing both the 7th floor and home was perhaps her first and last act of defiance. Chapter 8. Shurishi construction. We're gonna continue. We'll finish this up. Here we go. Chapter 8. Let's jump into it. Let's do it. Isn't it February though? The clear sea of January, cold wind that pierced the skin. Occasionally a strong gust would sway the pine grove and the sound of waves calmly reverberated. Well, there's nothing besides this here. I handed over the towel with Shurishi construction printed on it. It was what we had used to wipe our bodies down with before. Hey, don't make such a face. Alright. Seeming slightly dissatisfied, the girl took the towel. Suddenly saying she wanted a swimsuit, what could I do? In this season and at this place, on top of that, she said she wanted a bikini. Doing what I could, what came out of the car when I searched was that white towel that had been on the pile of laundry. And then, waiting for a while, in that skirt she liked with the towel from just before wrapped around her chest, the girl appeared. How is it? Well, even if you ask me that, it's not strange. Well, probably. It's perfectly fine. Totally not strange at all. Alright. And the girl slowly began walking out to the water's edge. It's gonna be so cold! Waves gathered and retreated, long hair fluttered in the cold sea breeze. From the sky, as if delivering the finishing blow, snow lightly fell. Within all that, the girl held both her shoes in both hands, happily as if she were splashing around, walking barefoot at the edge of the water. Say, does it look like it? Maybe so. In the cold of midwinter, our breaths whitely misted. Then I took out the camera that I had taken from the car earlier. That's what I was gonna say. This was a great photo op. That cheap-looking disposable camera had only one more shot on it. Here, I'll take pictures of you. Huh? I'm sure they'd be more like it that way. As I spoke, I made a show of preparing the camera. Come now, don't be so reserved, okay? The water's edge, the girl seen through the viewfinder. Maybe she was a bit nervous, or perhaps embarrassed. Her face was more complicated than usual. So, could you give me a better pose? But... no buts. Look, there's no gravure model that would stand like a stake. Alright. Even while still seeming a bit embarrassed in her own way, she tried her best. Shyly putting her hand on her waist, she threw her free hand out wide. That hand, it stretched outwards towards the clear winter sky, as if it were about to grasp something. We're trying to grab something. Stretched straight towards the sky with the emerald sea, green sea, to her back. Well then, one last thing. Smile. Eh? Smile for me, Setsumi. What's with that? You're the kid here. Aww. Aww. Saying that, for the first time, she smiled for me. The girl wearing the skirt she liked, the white bikini, smiled for the last shot on the disposable camera, smiled with the emerald green sea to her back. It was as if a gravure model was smiling at me. I don't know what a gravure model is. I'm assuming it's like a bikini model. Great. Then next, how about a pose with a bit more movement? Happily, like she were having fun, she splashed through the water. The film had already been used up in the camera, but I still continued to take shots. Oh, you're getting caught up in this, aren't you? No such thing. Cheerfully, we talked. As if making another attack, the snow fell even harder. And in that, through the viewfinder of the camera that had already run out of film, the girl showed a happy face. Even as her small body was thrown about by the wind, she directed her newly recalled smile towards me. Splash! Crash!
それじゃ
Well then. It's already that time. With that answer, like before, the girl started walking towards the sea. That's right, the license. That's fine. Take it as a memento. Alright.
分かった
While nodding, she put it in her pocket. It was the license that I had once handed to her. Really, it was something that should have already lost its debut. Then the girl took off that white vinyl bracelet wrapped around her wrist and offered it to me. Are you giving this to me? I am. I see. Then I'll take it as a memento myself. In the same way, I accepted the bracelet and placed it in my pocket. Then, once again, the girl began walking towards the sea. Facing her back, I threw out my final words. Hey, can I ask you just one last question? Do you, right now, want me to pull you back? Or instead, you want me to give a push from behind? While the waves splashed at her feet, the girl stopped in place. Her back remained facing me after I asked the question. The strong wind turned the crests of the waves into spray that struck her. Before long, she turned around and...
さあどっちだろうね
Which one, I wonder?
よくわからないね
I don't really know. Saying that just one more time, she smiled for me. While being struck by the spray from the waves, even as tears welled up, she faced me with a smile. Before, those feet had stopped at the water's edge, but this time they didn't stop. That was why I thought that was her answer.
それじゃあ
Well then,
さよなら
farewell. And so our journey of 960 kilometers ended. To me, it was 15 days' time. To her, it was the end of a 22-year-long journey. Not the seventh floor nor home. Of her own will, she avoided them. In the year 2005, she was one of the estimated 35,000 people who committed suicide. Blood type O, name Setsumi, 22 years old, female, vital identification bracelet, white. This was everything about the girl. But I knew. In reality, she liked bikini swimsuits, knew more about the roads than a navigation system, and loved cars. She even had a license. I know, Leica, that was technically our license, but we gave it to her. It was a show of camaraderie. I'm glad we did it. She was always without expression and would only rarely face you. But once in a while, she would even make this embarrassed pouting face. The emerald sea to her back. As if dancing happily like a gravure model, she smiled. And despite that, on this cheap disposable camera, only a single picture remained of her smile. But even so, even with just one picture, it was the proof of ourselves that we left behind. Beautiful. What a lovely story. I wonder what happens to us afterwards, because do we just run out of medication and die along with her? Do we go after her? Like, did we go back home? I guess we'll find out in part 2. The second game. At least I hope we will. This is such an interesting little jaunt through the mind as they process things like grief. Those dazzling days, those winter days. 2005 with Setsumi. Aww. So cute. This is such a wonderful little tale. Alright. So that's going to be it for this part of Narcissu. We will be playing this next week. We'll play part 2, Narcissu the second. There's a few more parts of the anniversary anthology. We have a couple more chapters to go through. I don't know if we'll go through those or if we'll just stop at 1 and 2. Either way, thanks for joining me today, guys, for this wonderful little tale. It was really beautiful. I had a great time with it. It really kept me on my toes as far as like what was going to happen, and like I was expecting her to pass away quietly in the car, not like go out into the sea and drown herself. But either way, I still think it was a beautiful story. I think it's wonderful things to talk about when we're talking about things that are really grief-stricken and things that are really difficult, making life or death choices like that. If you have any, I'm gonna put the suicide hotline number in the description on the VODs channel for this video. So if you're having thoughts about suicide, or you're just really grief-stricken and you need someone to talk to, I'll supply numbers that you can contact. Yeah, I think this game was beautiful. I can't say anything other than that it was beautiful. I don't know what else to say. It was such a powerful, commanding story. Even though the content was very quiet, I think it was beautiful. Music is spot on, writing is spot on, the voice acting is really great, except her microphone is a little crunchy, so you get kind of a little feedback, but I'm sure my microphone does the same, so I can't really falter for that. But yeah, anyways, thanks for joining this with me today, guys. I will see you next week for more Narcissu on Friday, so we'll start the second part, so we'll see how it goes. Hopefully it's a little more cheerful. I'm not 100% sure. I don't know what the second part's gonna be, if it's gonna be a continuation or if it's a different story. I think it's a different story. But anyways, join us on Tuesday here on Twitch for more Cyberpunk 2077. We started playing it for our Tuesday games, and it's been pretty fun. If you like watching me freak out about stealth options and trying to not die, go ahead and check out the Cyberpunk 2077 stream on Tuesday. It's very fun. I'm having a lot of fun with it. It's a little out of my, I want to say it's a little out of my league. I think it's overwhelming how much there is to do in that game. But I think we're playing through the main story, and we'll see how far we can go with it. I don't know if we'll finish it or not, but we'll do some playthroughs of that for a couple more weeks. So join us on Tuesdays for Cyberpunk. Join us on Thursday. We've been playing Expedition 33. It's starting to get good. Well, it was already good, but it's getting even better. We're learning more and more every time we play, which is wonderful. So we have more things to theorize and talk about. If you know the ending of Expedition 33, please be gentle about not spoiling anything for me, because I want to go into it with as little information as possible so I can make my own conclusions about what's going on. I think it's just more fun that way. And yeah, join us next week Friday for more Narcissu. We'll be playing that. It'll be fun. I've already talked enough about that, I feel. So anyways, that's all I have to say for this week. If you guys are interested in watching more of my content, go to the VODs channel, youtube.com/@princessevillan VODs, EVILLAN. That's how you spell Evelyn, in case you didn't know. And yeah, if you're looking for what time streams start for you next week on the Twitch channel, go to the Twitch channel and hit the schedule tab, and it will show you what time and what day we are playing each game. So never miss a beat with Twitch notifications. Make sure you follow the channel so that you get notifications on when I go live, and make sure you subscribe on the VODs channel so that you get updates on every time I post new videos to the VODs channel. Anyways, thanks for having me, guys. I will see you later. Love ya. And yeah, have a great weekend. Bye, everybody. Bye.